What's in your garage? Hello YouTube, Mr. Gibson guy here. In the garage, 2002 Harley Davidson Sportster, obviously modified, pretty quick bike. What's behind it? Oh. There's something you don't see every day. Yes. Triumph Bonneville T100 2007. Modern day classics that have been around for generations. This is their latest iteration. Amazing bikes. Get a lot of attention with these, and they can really move down the road. But today we had something else in the garage, something different. Now you'd say, these are pretty cool bikes. What else would you have? This may surprise you. It's not black. Wait a minute, Mr. Gibson guy, what do you got here? What are you doing to us? You can't be serious. Why not? Yes, I'm serious. It is a baby Ninja. 2007 Kawasaki Ninja 250. Yep, Kawasaki, a baby Ninja. Why in the world would somebody with a Harley and a Triumph go out and buy one of these? Well, there's actually some pretty good reasons, believe it or not. There's some things that this bike will do that the other bikes won't. It has its own specific features, its own uses, and you might even want to consider one yourself. Alright, first feature on this bike, it's cheap. It's cheap. I bought this for $2,000. The other bikes, a lot more. Yeah, so why would you get it? Why would you want something like this? Well, it didn't take much to get into it. Actually, I've been watching these things for years and wanted to get one. Not just for the price, for something else. It's really lightweight. This bike weighs about 300 pounds. The Triumph about 450, the Harley almost 500. Yeah, I know the new ones are heavier. This is an old one. Same thing can be said whether you're talking about the Harley or the Triumph or the Ninja. But this one is very light, very maneuverable, very quick to get around on even. It's a sport bike. It's sure not a super sport bike, but it'll go fast enough. You could get a pretty big ticket. It's probably not going to get a $400 ticket, but fast enough to get one. I have a couple of uses for this. For one, see behind the Ninja, I have a Ranger. Just a regular 5-speed, 4-cylinder, manual transmission, regular bed, regular cab. And I've put the Harley into the truck before. It takes two people. It's a lot of effort. can be done. And I've taken it out by myself. That was scary. But with this Ninja, I put it in the truck all by myself. In just a couple of minutes, I've done it in the dark. I have this folding aluminum ramp I got from Cycle Gear. Doesn't take up much space. I usually use it in the back to hold down the groceries. But whenever I want to load up the motorcycle, just drop the tailgate. I can run it up in myself, even in the dark. Just takes a couple of minutes. Try doing that with one of these. That won't happen. My girlfriend is disabled. She's got a bad back, and she loves to ride motorcycles, on the back of course, but she can't go for very long. So when we go away on trips, we have to leave the motorcycles behind. She wouldn't make it for a 2-hour ride up I-95 on the Harley Davidson. That wouldn't be happening. But with the truck, I can bring the motorcycle with me. Just load it up and off we go. Get to the motel. When she's ready to ride, we can go for a ride. When she's done, after we cruise down the beach one time, I can bring her back. She can go into the hotel and rest, and I go back out and I got my motorcycle with me. I can ride around all I want. So it's one that's easy to take with you wherever you go. Try doing that with one of these. It's not going to happen. What else? Well, I know a lot of people who don't ride motorcycles, and a lot of them would like to. But guess what? If they want to go for a ride, start out. I'm not going to start them on a Triumph Bonneville, and I'm sure not going to start them on a Harley Davidson Sportster. What do I start them on? Kawasaki. That's right. A lot lighter, very maneuverable, forgiving, although it can be real quick. But if they don't know to really run that engine up to that 13,000 RPM red line, they won't notice that it's got a lot of power. It won't be frightening or scary to them or challenging at all. They'll love it. And I've done that with folks. Hey, come try out this blue one. It's nice. And they say, yeah, I love it. This is great. They're not intimidated by it. So I got the bike that anybody can try out. On top of that, performance is really good on this thing. When I ride it, if I'm crossing a 6-lane highway from a stoplight, when that light turns green, if I'm first in line, I take off on this thing. By the time I cross the other side of the highway, this will be going 50. Just like that. Just crossing the street. It's light, builds up momentum very quickly. Now, who is it not for? Okay, you guys that are 200 pounds or more, definitely don't want to ride this bike. You're 6'2", not happening. Me, I'm 5'9", I weigh 160 pounds. This bike works perfectly for me. My little brother is 6'5" and 220 pounds. Definitely built for football, but not built for speed. This bike would be a toy to him, but it fits me just fine. My daughter is almost 5 feet tall, weighs 80-something pounds. If she wasn't such a chicken and she would ride, she could dominate all kinds of people riding this bike. But that's not up to her. She's not going to do it. I've had this bike over 100 miles an hour. It gets up real fast. That's just on local roads in town. Doesn't take much to get up there. 5th gear or 6th gear. Also, this is about the only motorcycle I know of that can go 100 miles an hour and more, and can also get 60 to 70 miles to a gallon. Yeah. This tank, 4.5 gallons. I get a very long range on this motorcycle. The two big bikes, I get 100 miles and I'm going to be pushing. So, low price, good performance, very usable bike. Not a bad thing to have as an extra in your garage. Not really somebody's main bike, unless you're a beginner. But for more advanced riders, you might find it very useful, very handy. I ride it more than my other bikes, both together, because it's real easy to pull out of the garage and the park and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. It really zips in and out of traffic because it's so much lighter than the big bikes and shorter wheelbase. It's a lot of fun to ride. And that's what riding is supposed to be about anyway. So I wouldn't recommend, unless you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend this as your only motorcycle. But if you already have a motorcycle or two motorcycles and you want to look at something that doesn't cost much, is easy to put in your truck, gets really good gas mileage, and on top of that, if you ever want to get rid of it, you can always sell it for what you paid for it. These things are always in demand. You might want to consider a Ninja 250. All right, this is Mr. Gibson Guy. I'll see you later.